Hey, what's up? I'm back again bringing you another MyFBCMS tutorial, and things are really buzzing here in the MyFBCMS Plex. We're working really hard bringing you these tutorials and getting you set up to be the Facebook fan page master. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover the settings in the admin panel. So yeah, I might have told a little white lie there. There really is no MyFBCMS Plex. So hey, what can you do? Wishful thinking is good. We might be actually that big one day. So anyway, let's get started by clicking your settings drop down in your admin panel. Now, there are quite a few settings. I'm going to briefly go through each one to get you a little more acclimated with what each setting does. So let's first start with configuration. This is your configuration window. As you can see, there are a few configuration options. This first one is your general settings. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Title is actually the name that will show up on the tab in your browser. So you can put your company name here or actually your name. It doesn't matter. Just whatever you want to display on the tab in your browser, that will go here. Keywords for all of you SEO guys and gurus out there. You're going to know what this is. This is to help search engines find you a little bit better pertaining to maybe your product, your brand, or yourself. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Fill your keywords in for how you want to be found on search engines or your Facebook fan page to be found on search engines. And of course the description for your fan page. So search engines will know what your fan page is about. This is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm just going to go through each one to get you a little more familiar with these configurations. This is your interface configuration. Color box style is actually responsible for your gallery layout and look, and as you can see, you have a couple of different examples. Language, of course, MyFBCMS only supports English at the moment, but we are working on translating it to different languages, so look forward to that coming soon. WYSIWYG language, that actually has quite a few languages to pick from. WYSIWYG for MyFBCMS is actually CK editor, and by default that comes with many different languages to pick from. Hide MyFBCMS link. This will actually allow you to hide the MyFBCMS branding at the bottom of your fan page. However, this feature will only be available to those who decide to purchase rebranding rights. So by default, this will not be an option unless you do so. This is your performance configuration. jQuery is actually responsible for a lot of the functionality for MyFBCMS. Kind of like the configuration drop downs here, that's actually using jQuery. It's advised to leave it on local unless you are very familiar with jQuery programming and coding. Maximum image area, this is actually responsible for the pixel size of your images when you upload them. To give you an example, a 600 by 800 pixel image has 480,000 square pixels. If you want your images to be larger, make the proper setting. HTML tidy, this is responsible for cleaning up messy code that may be generated in your editor. You can set this on or off. Report errors is responsible for reporting bugs or issues in the event that something's going on with your MyFBCMS install or configuration, or some weird code that you've maybe entered in your editor and it's not responding right. It will report an error in output. So if you're a programmer understanding the code that you're putting in MyFBCMS, this will help you. Combine JS files, CSS files, and tag headers. This will actually combine those to help load your fan page a lot faster. This is your contact form configuration. Recipient address, this is where the email will be sent when somebody fills out your contact form on the contact page. By default, this is the email that was used when you set up your MyFBCMS. You can change this if you like, or you can leave it how you want it. Recipient's name, you can choose to add your name in the email when it is sent. Either you can add your name or your company name, and the rest is pretty much automated. It's advised not to mess with this unless you understand email protocols. This is your required contact fields setting. You can choose what fields are required to be filled out upon submission. Right now, by default, it's set to subject and message, or you can have your subject, message, and email, all of those forms to be required before they submit a contact. This is your advanced contact form configuration. It is strongly advised not to adjust any configurations or add any settings in this area unless you are very familiar and have a very strong email protocol or SMTP protocol knowledge. This is your reCAPTCHA configuration. This is responsible for spam control when your contact form is submitted. You can apply for a reCAPTCHA key at reCAPTCHA.net by clicking this link and just put your reCAPTCHA key in here. and then set the language for the reCAPTCHA key. In case some of you who are not familiar with reCAPTCHA, it's the funny looking characters that you have to fill out on forms sometimes to authenticate that you're human. Click on Save to confirm your settings. Alright, let's cover user permissions. Go ahead and click on your user permissions in your admin panel. User permissions is a really great function in MyFBCMS. Just in case you own a company and you have a social media person hired to help you with your social media presence on Facebook or responsible for your fan page, you can add as many users as you want to administrate your Facebook fan page, but only allowing them certain permissions for changing things on your fan page. Or if you're a marketing company and you have several fan pages that you administrate, and only allowing employees to make certain changes. So let's go ahead and go over that. Right now, of course, admin is default and admin has all the permissions. So if you want to add a new user, simply click New User. And let me scroll down here and just proceed to add your new user information. After you've added the new user information, this is where you select what permissions they'll have administrating your fan page. You can select the permission one by one, or you can select them all if you want them to have complete administrative access. Once you have your permissions set in the user set, go ahead and click Continue to add that user. And now you will have your demo user or whatever username you picked, and it will tell you what permissions they have through the admin panel when they log in. So the permissions they don't have will not show up in the admin panel at all. They won't even have access to it. If you decide to go back and change that permission, you can always click on user details and you can go back and change that permission. So let's go ahead and give you just a really quick example. I'm going to log out and I'm going to log in and enter. And as you can see, the admin panel is here and we gave them a limited user access. So let's go ahead and click on settings. The only settings they're allowed to use is missing links. They've been removed from just about all of the settings access completely by the permissions that you've given them. So let's go back and log into administrator. Now that we're logged back in, let's go ahead and cover missing links. This is a really great setting. You can actually customize your 404 error pages in the event somebody migrates or navigates to a page that is no longer there or does not exist. This is a really great tool. So by default it's selected. So go ahead and click on Preview, and this is what your 404 page looks like now. You can customize this any way that you want to. So what you would do, you go back to Missing Links and click on Edit, and it will bring up your WYSIWYG, and you can put whatever in here you want. You can put an image, a text file, get creative, so that way when somebody navigates to a page that doesn't exist or isn't there, this is what they will see. I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. Redirects is a really good setting. Basically what redirects are, if they click on a certain page and you want to redirect them somewhere else like Google or another page within your fan page or maybe even your website, this will allow you to do that. The way to do that is to click on New Redirection. Your source URL, this is where you would type in what page they would be redirected from. So if it's your home page, it would stay like this. If it was the About page, you would type in About here. So it would be MyFBC or FBCMS About, and then the target. You can have them redirected to your Twitter page or a page within your fan page. It's entirely up to you where you want that person to go when they click on that particular link or the link that you've set. You can set it whether it's a 301 moved permanently or temporary redirect. That's entirely up to you. Once you're done, you can click on Save Settings. Let's talk about export setting. This is a really great feature. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's really simple to use. Basically what it does, it creates an archive of all of the data or your chosen data for your fan page. What will happen with all of this checked, it will back up the state that your fan page is in right now, how it looks, how everything's laid out, what theme you're using, everything. So just click on Export and it will work for just a moment and it will back it up immediately and it will give you a option to download your export and save it to your computer. So this is a really great feature. That way if something happens to your fan page and something messed up or you messed up something and you don't know how to get it back, you can always go back to your export setting and restore it back to the way it was from your last backup. It still gives you an option to download it in case you chose not to download it when the pop-up came up. Revert is how you restore your backup back to the way it was. So as you can see, the backup actually creates an archive on your hosting to recover your fan page how it was the last time. Really great feature, really great tool, really cool. It's strongly advised to back up your fan pages regularly if you're dealing with a lot of content. So I hope that gives you a really good understanding of the settings in your admin panel. Site stats is pretty simple. It's just going to tell you the health of your fan page, whether all of your files are healthy. If something's been removed or something important is going to be removed, it's going to tell you that it's not 100%. It's going to tell you how many files that you have in your fan page at the moment. That's all of the settings in a brief overview. Go through each one, get familiar with it, and I will see you in the next tutorial.